Oda just dropped the darkest and saddest chapter in the whole of One Piece. The unfinished art made this chapter feel raw in the most narratively driven way possible, and despite being unfinished, this chapter had a lot of small details, parallels, and foreshadows. We were not sure if Bonnie was Ginny's daughter, and in this chapter we got confirmation. However, it's also revealed that Bonnie is not Kuma's real daughter. Ginny was kidnapped and forced to become the wife of a celestial dragon, and Bonnie was born. Kuma is one of the best written characters, and I was sure that he would have a great and sad backstory. Still, I did not expect Oda to go this dark. What's even crazier is the fact that Oda planned everything years ago. Before I talk about why Saturn is the main villain in Kuma's life, I want to make a short review of chapter 1098 and show you all the small details and parallels in this chapter that you might have missed. And it starts with Bonnie's introduction. When Bonnie appeared for the first time in the whole story, a celestial dragon forcibly took down a woman to be his wife and took her to the Holy Land. Also, Bonnie was at her true age when she saved Zoro. She was 10 years old at Sabaody. Now she is 12 years old with a bounty of 320 million berries, which is a really impressive feat for a kid. Bonnie's crew, which we saw at Sabaody, was already with her 6 years ago. In SBS Volume 82, Oda revealed that Bonnie's hobbies are eating food and playing Jenga. In this chapter, we saw Bonnie playing Jenga with Kuma. Kuma's famous phrase, "If you could travel, where would you like to go?" that he asks Perona and other characters before he teleports them to different locations comes from Bonnie's childhood as well. Bonnie got her name from Kuma for having pretty jewelry on her cheek. She wanted to go to Skypiea and Fishman Island. She found information about these islands in a book, the same exact book that Kuma always carries around. We can even see a drawing from this book in Kuma's future jacket. He also took a hat from one of Bonnie's toys. This toy is a bear, and a bear in Japanese is Kuma. Detailing and foreshadowing in this backstory are mind-blowing. We have seen a lot of sad backstories in One Piece. Trafalgar Law, Robin, Chopper, Sanji, and more, but I think, for me, Kuma's backstory is the saddest. He lost both of his parents to celestial dragons and escaped with the love of his life. They have been through slavery, poverty, hunger for years together as kids, then they became revolutionaries, and in the end, Ginny was also killed by celestial dragons, and Kuma could not even hear Ginny confessing her love to him. That was the nail in the coffin for me. You'd think at least one good thing could happen to Kuma, but no. Oda went all out to make Kuma's backstory as sad as possible. Kuma was raising a child that is not even his, and despite all these facts, he is still a contender for being the best dad in One Piece. Kuma did his best to raise Bonnie well. She was a happy and energetic child. Kuma even managed to hide from Bonnie that she had a deadly disease and later somehow managed to cure her despite the fact that a doctor told him that Bonnie could not live past the age of 10. There are a few theories on how Bonnie survived this deadly disease. Number 1, Kuma pushed her disease out, took it himself, and later became a cyborg so he could remove the disease. Number 2, Dragon asked Vegapunk to help Kuma and Bonnie, and maybe that's why Bonnie mentioned that she visited Egghead as a kid in the past. Number 3, Kuma agreed to become a cyborg in exchange for saving Bonnie's life. Now, let's talk about the disease and Saturn. Law had an incurable disease called amber lead. Amber lead was a white ore that was found only in the country of Flevans. Products containing amber lead possessed a shiny white coating that made it a highly coveted mineral, leading to mining operations in Flevans which allowed the city's economy to flourish. The mineral would be used to color a wide range of products. After using these products, everyone in Flevans got this disease and no one survived except Law. Ginny and Bonnie's disease, Sapphire Scale, is a different story. You can't just get a deadly disease like that if no one else has it, at least in One Piece. In Law's situation, the whole city was affected, and it's understandable, but Ginny was the only one with this disease at Mary Joey's. Her husband kicked her out, so he did not have it himself. So how did Ginny get this disease? Saturn has eaten a Zoan-type devil fruit that allows him to transform into an Ushioni, a yokai from Japanese folklore that has the head of an ox and the spider-like body with 6 legs. Legend says that when a hiker or traveler makes eye contact with the Ushioni, the person cannot avert their gaze and the person's soul or energy is drained, leading to their death. This is called Kagewoku, which translates to eating the shadow or drinking the soul. We saw the same thing in chapter 1094. There was an announcement that the Marines with the rank of Rear Admiral or below must not look at Saint Saturn directly. One Marine made eye contact with Saturn and his head exploded. Ushioni is also known for giving incurable diseases. It is said that there was once an Ushioni in the caves of Gokasho Ura, Minami's, and when the lord of Gokasho Castle, Aisu Shigeaki, shot it with a bow, the Seishitsu, the lord's wife, fell sick with an incurable illness due to the curse. Because of this, Shigeaki distanced himself from the Seishitsu the same way a celestial dragon kicked Ginny out. The disease, Sapphire Stone, is also called Saturn Stone. Saturn said that a human's life holds no more value than that of an insect because they can multiply again. There is a high chance that Gorosei are not even human, and we know that they hate Nika. I believe Ginny somehow mentioned sun god Nika in Mary Joey's. Maybe she said that Nika will save her from the celestial dragons. Saturn heard it and gave Ginny an incurable disease with his powers. We know that the Buccaneer race and Zunesha are punished for a crime they committed in the past. The most obvious crime would be helping Joy Boy, aka the sun god, as far as it's known that Zunesha was affiliated with Joy Boy 800 years ago, so punishing people for helping or mentioning Nika is a common thing for the Gorosei and Imu. Is it not weird that we saw Saturn in Kuma's flashback as well? Okay, Oda revealed him at Egghead, but why was he the only Gorosei that we saw at God Valley? And he was also the one that met Kid Kuma. In chapter 1094, we saw that Saturn is the one who gave an order to erase Kuma's individuality, and in the next chapter, Bonnie mentioned that Saturn killed her father. Saturn was in every scene where Kuma's life got ruined, so I believe this is what happened. Saturn was the one who gave the incurable disease Sapphire Stone to Ginny and Bonnie. Ginny died, and the only way for Kuma to save Bonnie was to make a deal with the world government. Either Saturn removed this curse, or they gave her a devil fruit which helped her, but in exchange Kuma had to become a cyborg. Of course, the world government did not trust Kuma, the man who can teleport, so they were keeping Bonnie and Mary Joey's. That's why Akainu said a cold shiver ran through him when he heard Bonnie had run away from the government. After Vegapunk finished his experiment and Kuma became a mindless cyborg, the Gorosei did not need to keep Bonnie anymore. That's why Saturn told the Marines that Bonnie had no more benefit to them. Bonnie saw Kuma's memories, knows what happened, and that's why she wants to kill Saturn. This is the current situation. We also know that Kuma is heading to Egghead. We don't know what activated him. It could be Nika's heartbeat, the giant robot, Saturn, or the fact that Bonnie was in danger, but for now, it's not important. I believe Kuma will get his memories back. They're still locked in the room at Egghead. Saturn will reveal that he was the one who killed Ginny, infected Bonnie, and ruined Kuma's life from the very start, which will make Kuma furious, and he will kill Saturn, or at least he will play a big role in killing him. This will happen in chapter 1100, and it will be the incident that will shock the world. Gorosei and Celestial Dragons made Kuma's life a living hell, so I believe and I want to see Kuma taking revenge on Saturn. Also, as a revolutionary, it will be their first step into overthrowing the world government. Kuma will die in this war, as far as no one will leave the murderer of one of the 5 elders alive, but at least he will take revenge, save Bonnie and the Straw Hats, and he will see Sun God Nika. It will be the perfect ending for the best side character in One Piece. Write what you think about this theory down in the comments. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it.